of Richmond Chamber of Commerce and the region's business community, I'm delighted to be interviewing Richmond MP Zac Goldsmith today at our networking event at Richmond's Kiss the Hippo, the official launch of a fantastic new business. This interview takes place against a backdrop of Brexit fog sitting over the economy and local unease regarding the Hammersmith Bridge closure for circa 2 to 3 years. Heathrow expansion, which the region's residents are largely against, and other concerns such as housing expansion. Zac has ecological interests such as threatened species of animals, plants and marine life, and we are hoping to explore these too. There is the very small matter too of the new Prime Minister, and of course we will ask if Zac has the inside track. So an interesting update in store for us all. Thank you for joining us this morning, Zac Goldsmith.
Thank you for having me.
Local MP. What do you enjoy most about representing Richmond?
Well, I've spent almost all my life here. And I remember when I thought about getting involved in politics and everyone said you've got to go and try and find a safe seat. You can't possibly win in Richmond Park in North Kingston. And I thought about it, obviously. But then I realised that I would be an MP in an area that I had no connection to. I'd be an MP in an area that I didn't know and probably didn't love, and I'd have to pretend, which is not something I'm very good at. So I've spent 42 of my 44 years here in this community. I know every street, I know many, many people, and as a consequence I love it. So I will always do what I can to protect and improve my community, as any normal person would. But being an MP allows me to do that more effectively. So it's the community I love.
And what areas are you focusing on in Parliament?
Well, the problem in Parliament, as you probably can anticipate, is that all the oxygen has been sucked out by Brexit. But outside of Brexit, I've put a lot of emphasis on domestic and international environmental issues. So I've really led the campaign in Parliament against the illegal wildlife trade.
Yes.
I'm campaigning to ensure that DFID spends our aid money more effectively, with more of that money going towards protecting nature.
Yes.
As a means of alleviating base poverty. And then domestically, I led a sort of small group of MPs to persuade the government through an amendment to commit to creating a new environmental body here that would be able to hold government to account, to make sure that when we leave the European Union, if we leave the European Union, we go forwards, not backwards in terms of environmental standards. And we won that campaign. So that was a lot of work, but it worked, and we're in the right place now, so I'm pleased with that result. And then other issues that I've been focusing on are not so much local issues, but I led a campaign to change the law around FGM, female genital mutilation.
Yes.
And we got the law changed. The government, I have to say, to give it credit, was very helpful.
Yes.
So we got that law changed. A few MPs objected, but an overwhelming majority supported it. And a whole range of other issues as well, of course. We've been very busy despite Brexit. People can only see the Brexit issue, but there's a lot more happening.
There's a lot more actually going on. And clearly for business, Brexit is a major concern, as you know, particularly around labour, finding staff of all levels of skill. Committing to investment is a major issue, not knowing quite where the economy is going. So I'm just, what are your comments in respect to Brexit and...
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I say is that it is amazing to me that things are as good as they are in terms of our economy. We've got record employment, record low unemployment, inward investment. We have strong by comparison to other European countries. And I'm surprised by that, actually. I'm surprised by that because the uncertainty around Brexit, it must be incredibly off-putting to business.
But there is a holding back.
That's right. So I can only imagine how successful we would be if that uncertainty wasn't there.
True.
And I don't even think it's about the type of Brexit that we end up with. I think it's impossible for businesses to plan when we have no idea where we're going. Right. And so for me, there is an urgency about this. We need to achieve a Brexit that brings as many people together as possible, and we need to do it without continuous delay. Because until we reach some kind of conclusion, why would people want to invest in this country? Why would people, and not just financially, but their lives, why would people want to move to this country?
Exactly.
And sink their roots into this country and grow families in this country, given that we don't know where the country is going to be in 6 months, a year or 2 years' time.
Do you have any inside track on?
Well, I mean, I see what you see, which is that there is a parliament in gridlock. We will have a new leader in a matter of weeks. I think the quality of leadership matters with these sorts of things. I think the Prime Minister had many qualities, but she was not a good negotiator. And she didn't consult with Parliament until the very last minute, by which time it was too late for her and for the deal that she put together. So I hope with fresh blood, in a sense, in the government, I hope we will be able to find a way forward. I think we can. I mean, I don't think Parliament is quite as divided as people imagine. But what we have lacked and what we need is leadership, and I hope that's what we'll have in a few weeks' time.
And locally, there's an awful lot always going on, and we know Heathrow has been rumbling along for some time. Hammersmith Bridge closure is a major concern locally, and also construction, housing, whatever, creates.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is that there are some big developments underway. We need those developments. Obviously, we have to get them right. They've got to be in keeping. They've got to be proportionate, and so on. But there is a housing crisis in London, so we can't just say no development.
Yeah.
But every time we develop, we increase pressure on local services, and in particular our transport.
Yes.
So when you combine that with the closure of Hammersmith Bridge, you end up with gridlock and pollution, and it's caused massive upset for a lot of people. What's frustrating about it is we knew this was going to happen. It's not a surprise. We've been, I'm afraid to say, both Richmond Council, Richmond MPs, including my predecessor, and local MPs have not been successful in talking to Hammersmith and Fulham. They've kept their cards very close to their chest, and as a consequence, we've been in the dark. But the good news is that TfL have now taken responsibility for the bridge, and TfL, for all their faults, are capable of pulling off big projects.
Right, okay.
So I feel reassured by the fact that TfL.
Is it a couple of years?
It will take. We don't know. They're
2 to 3 years.
It'll be. They're saying 2 to 3 years.
Takes time.
But there is still a discussion about what works they're going to do. Do they repair the bridge and bring it back to where it was before it fell into disrepair? That will cost about £50 million. It'll take about 3 years. It won't last that long, and you still won't be able to have big fire engines, for example, crossing the bridge, or double-decker buses. Or do they build a new bridge? And that is a discussion I think but also the community has to have. So I will be doing a very wide survey, asking people what their favourite outcome is. And I think it has to be a community. It's not my opinion or yours. It's a community decision.
Of course it is.
So we'll lay out the options as soon as we have the numbers from TfL, and we'll
so it's an opportunity, actually.
I hope so. It's going to be it's going to be a nightmare. There's no doubt.
People are struggling.
Yes. And I think the TfL have got some of the bus routes wrong, so there are people struggling now to get from Mortlake, for example, to Hammersmith Bridge. There are fewer buses. If you want to get to Putney, that's fine, but Hammersmith Bridge, a lot of people want to get there, walk across, get on the district, and find their way into London. So there are problems, but I'm doing all I can to speed things up.
Yeah, and Heathrow, of course, that was the other.
Heathrow, I mean, I still think Heathrow, there's a big question mark over whether it can happen. Obviously, I'm not a supporter. I think it is irreconcilable with air quality laws. I think it'll cause massive congestion, 23 million extra journeys backwards and forwards to Heathrow. It's very hard to imagine how our road structure can cope with that. The enormous amount of public subsidy that will be required, which Heathrow is not coming up with the dosh, so we're going to have to. But I think the thing that might stop Heathrow is I think they will struggle to finance it, because there are all kinds of risks there, planning risks, there are political risks. And if the Labour Party were to form a government under Jeremy Corbyn, who opposes Heathrow expansion, would you as an institutional investor put money into a project that could have the plug pulled at any minute? So I think there are lots of reasons why it won't happen, irrespective of the government's decision.
Okay. We covered a lot of ground.
We certainly did.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the work you do in this extraordinary organisation.
Thank you very much.